Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in. This is Midweek Motivation. You know how most TV series have a certain season, and then it's the end of their season? Well, that's kind of what it's like for Midweek Motivation. The way this setting is and everything around it, this is going to be the end for Midweek Motivation for this season. We are going to be starting back up, and we're going to be meeting again. Now, I know our Wednesday nights are not going to be in person yet, so we may be doing something on some type of a Midweek Motivation, but it'll be a little bit different than what it is today. As I was growing up, I remember going to the auction with my father. And it was one of the fun times that I got to spend some time around him and to be able to see what kinds of things that were in those consignment boxes, or maybe weren't even in a box, but that I wanted, or maybe that he bought that I could just kind of peruse through. And because I went with him as a young boy and as a teen, I kind of like to go to auctions myself now. But as I said, he liked to watch those boxes come through the line and just see what was in them, and usually he's looked at them beforehand. And sometimes he's known of maybe a treasure in there, or maybe a couple different treasures that he really wanted, and then the other stuff might have been just some extra bonus awesome stuff that he was going to get. But the idea that he would go through all that and he would look for those hidden treasures. And much the same way as I am. Whenever I go to garage sales or auctions, sometimes I will look through boxes and maybe under things just to see if there's any kind of a hidden gem in there. But the idea that he would bid on some at the auctions and then he would let others go. He disappointed me a few times because I didn't get what I wanted. There was something maybe that I told him that I wanted, and he was like, "You don't need that right now." It wasn't something that I think negatively about him, but at the time that I wanted things, it was disappointing for me to not get those. However, I really enjoyed looking at the boxes and the crates of stuff that he would buy and seeing if there was anything that I could have that was in those. I would look through those, and much like he looked through them beforehand, I looked through those looking for a treasure. But one thing that is in common about an auction is if you don't bid or you bid high enough, someone is going to be there to take it from you. And that's the way it is with opportunities. And that brings us to this quote about opportunities. And it says this: "Opportunities are never lost. Someone always takes the ones you miss." I don't know where that quote came from, as I give credit to my quotes, and that one was unknown. But life is much like an auction. You go through life, you see crates and boxes of opportunities, and they pass before you, and you have to determine, are you going to bid on those, or are you going to let them pass? Are you going to buy, or are you going to be able to bid high enough to be able to buy them eventually, or are you going to let someone else take that opportunity and get that treasure from you? But if you let it slip and someone does take it from you, then you've lost that opportunity. And based on that quote, it's kind of like someone else took it. Someone else took that opportunity that you had. Paul, an apostle and a writer in much of the New Testament, encourages his readers with these references to opportunity that are all similar. And it says this: "Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially those who belong to the family of believers," from Galatians 6 and verse 10. And then another verse says this: "Be wise in the way you act toward outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity," from Colossians chapter 4 and verse 5. And then the last verse from Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 16 says this: "Making the most of every opportunity." That's a little bit of a section of that verse. But I want you to think about the opportunities that you have and see the opportunities that are all around you, specifically those in which we can share our faith with others. Because they're all around, and if we don't take them now, they're going to pass. And maybe somebody else is going to take the opportunity to share their faith. But it's up to us to be able to share our faith with others. Or maybe that opportunity may pass, and they may never have the opportunity again to really hear the Word of God or hear your faith and be attracted to it. So take the challenges. Take the opportunities. Don't let them pass before you. Don't let them go before you and be able to not take advantage of that opportunity there. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you being here through all these weeks. God bless, and have a great week.